BuBruins.com or download the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. Speaking of tonight, we got a great show lined up for you.
Anything happen?
Dylan Raiola has officially entered the transfer portal, John.
Boo.
We'll talk about it. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? We'll debate that at the start of the show here. Lucas Gabriel, as we just mentioned, his team is 12-0 over at Bellevue University. Him and RJ Smith, their big man in the middle, will join us at 6:15 to break down how their season is going. At 6:30, we'll predict the college football playoff. And Dan, I might have to pivot on that. We might change that up at 6:30 because a video was just released a few minutes ago announcing the retirement from boxing of Terrence Bud Crawford. And I feel like we may have to dive into that at 6:30 and wait on the prediction of the college football playoff maybe till Friday.
Fun fact, we're going to do the prediction of the college football playoff tonight, whether you like it or not.
All right,
because I wrote it into my 7 o'clock segment.
All right, we'll make it happen. We'll tell you what we got right, what we got wrong, what we didn't see coming from the entire season of college football. And then John Walker from the Omaha World Herald join us to maybe fix what's wrong with Creighton basketball. We'll debate that at 7:30 as well. Don't forget, it is a Taste Tuesday, courtesy of friends at Timber. For Bistro Yet, let me tell you, you are absolutely missing out. We got some food from Timber tonight. We had the lamb duo, which is a special on their menu. It's a lamb chop and a lamb shank. Thank you. They also threw in the Redbird wings, which is naked wings with a bunch of different red flavors in it. It was fantastic. And the ricotta that we've had several times that never misses was on the menu tonight. You're going to want to get over to 87th Pacific to Timber tonight. You can go there on us. All you got to do is head over to our Twitter page at After Hours 1620 and retweet our tweet about Taste Test Tuesday tonight. We will enter you into that drawing. As we mentioned, Dylan Raiola has officially entered the transfer portal, courtesy of Pete Thamel.
Not officially, but unofficially.
Yeah, he has not done it. People have done it for him. And
he has just went prayer hands.
A little weird, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at least he didn't tweet out a ChatGPT poem again. That was probably for the best. But
if I ever tweet anything and it's a retweet of some news about me and it's just prayer hands, you have my official permission to punch me in the neck. Like,
fair enough. So are you out on this happening? Like, give us your thoughts, John. What Dylan Raiola is officially, unofficially not.
Well, I mean, I've had a long time to process this as the news broke yesterday, and Monday Night Football apparently is more important than we are. So I had some time to think about it. And look, I understand if fans are upset that Dylan Raiola is leaving Nebraska, and I get that. But I think once you get over the initial emotion of the whole situation, yes.
Or you could listen to this show and hear me tell you 2 weeks ago that it was happening anyway. But
replacing Dylan Raiola in one respect is going to be nearly impossible. And that respect is the persona, the attention, the talking points, the just aura of a 5-star quarterback with that name and with
at this university,
and that image is going to be nearly impossible to replace. You're not going to bring in another guy who is going to garner that much attention. I just don't believe you can.
Sure.
Not at this stage. In another sense, replacing Dylan Raiola is not that hard.
Ooh.
And that is the production on the field. Because his production on the field was fairly mediocre through a season and 9 games, right? Like, look at the numbers and tell me that you can find no one who could do exactly that in this offense.
So that's the other interesting part of this, because there's also been the rumor of Dana Holgorsen maybe going to TCU and everything that comes along with that. But that's going to be there's the TJ Latif of it all, and we're going to get into that in a second.
Sure.
But I think the more important piece is Dana Holgorsen, right? Like, if Dana Holgorsen leaves, that changes the narrative a ton, because your recruiting piece now is the Dana Holgorsen offense, in my opinion, because for the last 2 seasons, you've had this cornerstone that you've been building this recruiting process around, and the reason you were able to attract big-time wide receivers, or at least the wide receivers you were trying to attract, was because you had a piece in place where you could say, well, don't you want that guy throwing you the football? And that kind of sold itself, and it's the attraction of the name and the attention that's going to come along with the program. I'm gonna go the other direction on this and say, isn't it maybe better for this program to lay low? Maybe don't win the offseason national championship, because here's the other thing. It's an investment. Dylan Raiola was an investment from a monetary standpoint and a future standpoint, right? Like, they obviously gave him a ton of money, but they also invested in the idea of a 5-star quarterback. And it just happened to be Dylan Raiola. You ever seen a company scale up too fast and not be able to handle it and they fail because of that?
Sure.
Kind of feels like that's what happened here. When you look at what Dylan Raiola was and the surrounding interest around him and all the attention, the eyes on the program it brought with him, I don't know if this iteration of Nebraska football was ready to handle all of that. And I think that's a lot of the reason you had guys like David Sanders Jr. and guys that came in that went, okay, but like, what if this doesn't work? And everywhere I've been successful. Now, I think this program needs to grow at a pace that is going to be conducive and sustainable. And just going out and getting David Sanders Jr. and Ryan Wingo and Dylan Raiola and getting all these pieces to come in and just throw them all together and go, they all got 5 stars. It's going to work. Now, granted, obviously you didn't get 2 of those 3 pieces, and maybe it would have. But secondly,
having a lockdown left tackle might have helped Dylan Raiola quite a bit.
Absolutely. And I think it would have. But you're also there's obviously Trey Taylor, and that's a whole other discussion. But you would have gone all in for these 3 years, and then there's nothing, right? Like, those guys are gone. If everything works out the way it's supposed to. Now, you have that to build off of, but there's nothing in Nebraska's past that says if that were to happen, you could sustain that after their success. They need to find a way to make an identity of this program, build off of that, win games because of that, and then scale with the talent. In my opinion, I think that's the way you build a football program is you identify who you are, what you're good at, master those things, and then recruit to that.
And Indiana disagrees with you, though.
But hold on. I think they're the perfect example because I don't think what 5-star guys they go out and get an influx of. It's not they
didn't need them.
Why? Because Curt Cignetti
I can't tell you exactly
Curt
why.
Cignetti is unapologetically himself. He's got a system. And he has an identity of what he wants to be. And they implemented that, and then they put the pieces in around it. And I think that's the perfect example. Now, here's
Are you wait. Are you saying that Indiana didn't do anything to bring in high-value players?
No, not at all. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they identified what they did, what they're good at, scaled to that, and then recruited accordingly.
They did not.
That's
factually
incorrect. What 5-star players did Indiana bring in, Dan?
Who cares about 5-star players?
Because they
brought in guys from the transfer portal who they actually knew could play ball.
Which is okay. Hold on. Anyway, that's exactly what I just said. By the way, you're arguing what I just said. But with that being said, I think when you look at the scope in which this coaching staff recruited coming in without Dylan Raiola is probably the wheelhouse they felt comfortable in. They got a gift in a 5-star quarterback that has a legacy here and chose to come here and then pivoted everything. It really felt square peg, round hole from the beginning for a couple reasons. He picked Georgia in Ohio State first, obviously. Secondly, everything you had done up until that point, Matt Rule's third press conference here in Lincoln was talking about how he was adamant about the quarterback run game and how crucial it was going to be to this offense. That went out the door, and it probably needed to. So if that's your philosophy and that's how you want to win football games at this program with the weather and the wind and all that, it's taking a philosophy and applying something that doesn't apply to your philosophy and trying to build off.
Yeah. The thing about it for me is that you got a 5-star quarterback, and I don't think probably 75% of the time it felt like Nebraska's offense was being directed by a 5-star quarterback.
Yeah.
It didn't feel that way.
No, it didn't.
And the numbers would tell you that it didn't look that way either. And who does that fall on? Does it fall on the coaches? Does it fall on the player?
That's a whole nother conversation.
It falls on everybody.
Yep.
Right?
It should.
This is the same thing I said about John Butler as the defensive coordinator. I think John Butler is an elite teacher and developer of defensive backs. Something wasn't meshing with him calling the defense. I think Dylan Raiola has elite arm talent and tremendous potential and upside. Something did not compute with him as Nebraska's starting quarterback. It didn't all add up to marks in the win column enough. For his profile, for his status, for his salary, it didn't add up to enough wins to make it beneficial for both sides. Because what's Dylan Raiola's goal? His goal is to go to play in the NFL, probably get drafted in the first round.
Well, I think he wanted to win a national. I don't want to say that his goal wasn't to win at Nebraska, because I don't think that's fair.
But how do you get attention at the next level? Win a whole bunch of games.
Yeah.
Win. Just win, baby. And if you do that in such a way that you look good while you're doing it, the level above you is going to come calling. Right?
I think what you just said about John Butler is really important to touch on really quickly, because there was the conversation from Phil Snow at the podium yesterday, or was it 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Where he clearly didn't have any F's to give and just was like, here was the problem and this is why. It feels like there's a real accountability problem in that program right now. Because if you, as Phil Snow, who is a assistant to the head coach, saw the problem with the defense, and you said, if I was the defense coordinator, Matt Rhule was coaching the defensive line, which means you also saw something wrong with the defensive line.
Yeah.
And the head coach...
Well, I think everybody saw something wrong with the defensive line.
Exactly. But the head coach wasn't stepping in at that point to make the adjustments and fix it? That's an accountability problem. And I've talked about this a couple times now, but with the immediate blaming of Dano for the lack of run plays at the end of the USC game, to talking about John Butler's presence on the sideline, things he was saying, like, there just seems to be this thought. This is my perspective on the situation. It feels like Matt Rhule has hired Dana Holgorsen, John Butler, the coaches underneath them, and said, the expectations are, this is on you if it goes wrong. That's how I read the situation. Whether that's wrong or not, when he addresses the podium or when there's things that go wrong and he passes the buck, and listen, if those are the expectations, and I said this last week, if those are the expectations and he's telling them that, it's a completely different story. I just don't think you can win football games like that. If there's a problem and you're the head coach, you need to step in and fix it. Because guess what? If you start losing more than 7 games a season, you're probably not going to be the head coach very much longer.
So just to clarify, you're out on the CEO as a coach role. I'm at Nebraska specifically.
I'm out on the CEO passing the buck. Because it's one thing to empower people, but if you empower them to a fault and you know where the fault line is and you're not stopping it, that is then on you. I don't care what you explained to them before that. If you knew there was a problem with communication to the defensive line, if you knew the defensive line wasn't doing their job, if you had a problem with the way the defensive line was being coached to the point that the guy you allegedly trust the most on this staff that has been with you for the longest is saying it at a press conference and you didn't do that, I have a major problem with that. Because listen, Phil Snow came out and said it. So you can't tell me that Matt Rhule didn't see exactly what Phil Snow saw.
Yeah, but I think you're missing like the fine line that you have to walk there of not being a micromanager as well.
Sure.
Not like getting your nose into every coach's business.
But you as the CEO need to know where that line is.
I
you
don't
have
disagree.
To set the line.
Look, I'm not trying to sit here and tell you that Matt Rhule did everything perfectly.
Sure.
He obviously didn't. They lost 5 games.
And again, this is my speculation on how I saw the situation.
But what I am telling you is, like, there's a very fine line between being honest, which is like, we have asked for this forever. Like, tell us the truth.
Yeah.
Don't sugarcoat it. Tell us what's really happening.
There's a difference between telling the truth and taking accountability for what actually happened.
But Jimmy, how many times have you heard a coach come out after a game and say, yeah, this loss is on me? And you absolutely know that he does not mean it with 1 ounce of his body.
I think we're talking about 2 different things here, because that we know is BS. It's coach speak. It is what it is. I'm talking about the lack of adjustments and the exact same thing happening repetitively from Cincinnati through Iowa with no changes. And then one of the coaches coming out and saying, well, we saw this, and if it was up to me, Matt Rhule would have been fixing that. That's a big difference. We'll go to the phone lines, 402-951-1620. We're going to Terry. Terry, welcome to the After Hours Lounge.
Hey, man, I hate to pile on and agree with you guys, but, you know, I guess as a Husker fan and faithful and, you know, someone who's gone to the bowl games and goes to the games, I guess my concern right now is, like, you could be pulled a lot of different ways as a CEO, right? And as a CEO, you've got to define, like, exactly what's my top priorities of importance.
Bingo.
And when things aren't going right, it's your job to make sure you jump in and address it. And sometimes it means that your hands have to get dirty to do that, even though you're paying people to do it. But I think there's some miscommunication down there where things are not connecting. The other thing is, I just think Matt needs to get off of some of Pat McAfee and all these other stuff and these YouTube shows. He needs to get off of that and take care of the program. I mean, that's where his bread and butter is. I think I would pour everything I could into something that didn't look like it was succeeding in the year that I was bragging about. Year 3 is when it happens. The other thing I just want to say this quickly and get off. I don't want to hear any more about what happened at Baylor. I don't want to hear any more about what happened at Temple. He's at Nebraska. We're not any of them, right? And we're in the Big Ten. So, I mean, I just want him to buckle down, do his job, and I agree with you. Don't sell me any fluff. I don't want to hear that some of these running backs are doing great and we never see them the whole season. I don't want to hear that. Tell me the truth. We're short on running backs. We probably should got another one in the portal, but we're trying to develop. I mean, I just don't want to hear it. I think everybody's there.
I think that's Terry. We appreciate the call and happy holidays, man. I want to touch on that really quickly because I think that is a different answer because that's to the players, and you've got to motivate those guys. Because listen, what happens if Emmett Johnson goes down and tears his ACL, and you just told everybody 2 weeks ago, yeah, we probably should have got another guy through the transfer portal? There's going to be that mentality from those running backs that went, well, apparently we're not good enough. That would just been human nature. So, I agree with 98% of what Terry had to say there. We got to get to Lucas Gabriel and the Bellevue University men's basketball team on the other side of the break. If you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620 The Zone. It was brought to you by Aloe Fiber. From Nebraska neighborhoods across the state, it's clear there is no place like Nebraska. Just like so many of us, Aloe calls Nebraska home. Born and raised right here in the Cornhusker State, sharing proud traditions of agriculture, athletics, education, and community. Aloe is bringing those communities together connection by connection. Head over to aloefiber.com/Husker Radio and sign up for their services that provide the Huskers with official internet, TV, and mobile. It's Aloe Fiber, aloefiber.com/Husker Radio. Check them out tonight. In a bag, I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, 78th and Dodge. That's where you go to get your Christmas shopping done for the man in your life. I'm telling you, whatever you get from Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, it is going to hit big when it's under your Christmas tree this season. Mizzen and Main, Johnny O, Roan, the new Brax pants, whatever it is, get that guy that you care about in your life some great gear from Jerry Ryan. They're going to be walking around Cloud 9, dressed to the nines in their new gear. You can get it. 78th and Dodge. Get in there. Get your Christmas shopping done early. Get it done this week. Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Been dressing Omaha for over 50 years.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Boys Town Ear, Nose, and Throat Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7.
Partly cloudy, cooling off tonight. Later on, a low temperature in the upper 20s. Partly sunny, quite breezy and mild on Wednesday, a high in the low to mid 50s. We'll see a chance of rain showers later Wednesday evening and night. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
For the third year in a row, Hy-Vee and Chesterman Coca-Cola present Zoolightful, a holiday celebration at Henry Dorley Zoo. Now through December 28th, stop by any Omaha area Hy-Vee through the holiday season and grab Coke 12 packs for just $4.99 when you buy 4. Also, Dasani 24-pack water is $3.99. Get down to Henry Dorley Zoo and celebrate the holidays with Hy-Vee and Chesterman Coca-Cola.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience from their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
It's cold weather season, and when it gets cold outside, pests want to come inside. From spiders to rodents, now is the time to prep your home for the winter months. An end-of-the-year pest control checkup can keep mice out of your walls, spiders out of your corners, and can even prevent the occasional squirrel or raccoon from trying to make themselves at home. Don't let unwanted guests, besides your in-laws, crash your holidays. Visit ReconPestServices.com today and stay protected all season long. When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less. If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
It's 6:24 on a Taste Test Tuesday at 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking for the ideal college experience this upcoming winter, no classes on Friday, the majority of your schooling done online, live athletics right on campus. Check out bellevue.edu and register for classes. Today, you could check out high-level athletics like the team we're about to talk to here next is Lucas Gabriel.
I just want to say, apparently Nebraska is the place for undefeated basketball teams.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because the 12-0 Bellevue Bruins men's basketball team is off to a very raucous start. And, Coach, congratulations on all the early success.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having us.
Obviously, when there's a lot to unpack when you guys have had the success that you've had. But take me back to a year ago when you're constructing this team. Obviously, you and I have talked about this several times, but I want to get your thoughts. When you were looking at the mental makeup of what you wanted this iteration of Bellevue basketball to look like, what were the building blocks you wanted to build around for this year's team?
Yeah, well, last year we obviously we had a down season, but it's one of those, nothing's ever as good as it seems, nothing's ever as bad either. So we knew last year we lost 13 one-possession games. We knew we had some pieces. So it was just a matter of making sure we brought the right guys back that we felt like were bought in, and then adding, we added Ahmad Bynum. We got Jaden Phillips back from 2 years ago from when we won our conference championship. We added Jermaine Halliburton from San Francisco City, basically to, the other 6 guys that are playing the bulk of the minutes for us. They've all been in the program. They were all part of it last year. So we just felt like we needed to add a couple playmakers, and we did that because we knew we were right there.
I wonder, as you mentioned, so many close losses last year. For you personally, when you have a season like that, what does that do to you and the way you think about your process for the game?
Yeah, you start flipping every stone, and you're searching, because it's not one of those deals where you're losing by 20, losing by 30, and it's one of those things where you're saying, well, we're just not good enough.
Yeah.
It was maddening, because every game you're going to the film and saying, oh, if we just make one more play here, one more play there, if we can just find, one more bucket.
Don't inbounds the ball to the wrong team with 2 seconds left.
Exactly.
Sorry, man. I was on the call. I was there. It hurt me too.
Just some fluky things. You know, on that same game you're talking about against Mayville, I believe we missed a front end of a 1-on-1 that.
I wasn't going to bring all that up.
Over.
Yeah. Sorry, Amar.
So next thing I know, we're giving up a layup and inbounding the ball to the wrong team and losing. So, but like I said, we just, we did a lot of reflection and things that we could be doing better as a coaching staff, and wanted to make sure we had the right guys on board. And, I think so far this year, we're proving that we made the right adjustments.
You brought him up a minute ago, and I want to talk about it because obviously it's a unique situation. Ahmad Bonham is on your team, a former D1 guy at UTEP, but also I want to talk about the recruiting process a little bit because his brother was a former Bellevue Bruin. Obviously, Jerome has been in here, and we got to cover him for a long time in this program. But can you talk about what that process looks like, getting a guy from a D1 level to come to an NAIA school, obviously on borrowed time, but what that whole process was like? Was that something new for you?
Well, we've had Division I kickbacks before. Never one as high profile as Ahmad. I mean, Ahmad obviously averaged over 10 points a game in Conference USA last year. And typically guys like that go up to a Power 5 school. They don't come down to NAI. So Ahmad just found him in a spot where, he had to find a place to play. And luckily his older brother played for us and graduated and works on campus now. And
thanks, Jerome.
Thank you, Jerome. And we have a phenomenal relationship with Jerome. He's one of my all-time favorite guys, which is Ahmad's older brother. And so, if we hadn't already had the relationship with Jerome, his older brother, and the junior college coach, because they both played for the same JC coach, it doesn't happen. And that was a deal where we got Ahmad because of the relationships that already exist. It wasn't like we're scrolling through the portal.
Well, hold on. I want to back up a minute because I don't think that's necessarily true because that relationship has to be good, right? And obviously you guys, when Jerome was here, it felt like home. And I feel comfortable talking about this because he and I have talked about it. But like when he came here, he said that Bellevue felt like a home that he never expected it to. That's got to be a pretty big selling point for you guys talking to anybody, let alone his brother, right?
For sure. We pride ourselves on our culture. We pride ourselves on the fact that, we try to love our guys as much as anyone in the country. And, we make sure our guys are going to class. We make sure they graduate so that they can, have good lives afterwards. And Jerome's a perfect example. He graduates, has a full-time job as an academic counselor on campus now. And so, I think because Jerome had such a good experience when we talked with that, now when you talk to little brother Ahmad during the recruiting process, he knows that you're not full of it when you're trying to recruit him. There's a reference check there with someone that he really trusts. And we've had multiple players from Jerome and Ahmad's JC coach. Obviously Twin, he played for them as well. And we've had other guys that have played for Marty Livingston. So
hey, can I just take 2 steps to your right? You're like right in the boom of the camera. There you go. There you go. We can see your face now. There you go.
Okay,
there it is.
Sorry about that.
Did you say Marty Livingston? Is that who you referenced?
Marty Livingston was Jerome and Ahmad's junior college.
Okay, now the head coach at UNK.
Now, yes.
Yeah.
So we've always had when he was a junior college coach, we've always had a great relationship with Marty. And,
I don't think I realized that he was their coach.
Yeah, and so and we still talk to Marty. I mean, Marty is a phenomenal guy.
Yeah, he's all right. He ain't got to do all that.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, a ton of players have come in and out of this program. We've been excited to talk to, but I don't think I've been looking forward to anybody more than the guy we're about to talk to now. Is RJ Smith is with us tonight. RJ, go ahead and step up and grab the microphone. I know this isn't going to be anything to you because I'm just a guy that covers your games and talks to you on the radio. But man, I was so proud of you the day I walked in the gym, saw the transformation that you went through. You lost a ton of weight, put a ton of muscle back on. Can you just talk about your weight loss journey and what it's been like for you over the last 12 months?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of had a wake up call and decided it was time to like get myself right and start eating right, stay in the gym, lift. I was going on runs, everything like that.
Well, as a fat old guy, I'm proud of you, man.
That. And can you talk about the wake up call a little bit? What was that wake up call for you?
Well, obviously, I didn't have the season I wanted to have last year. We didn't have the season we wanted, so that change was necessary.
How big of an adjustment was it for you on the floor from playing at the size you're used to being a little more fleet of foot and a little bit more muscle on it?
It's honestly extremely different. I'm able to sprint down the floor, get to my position early, stay in front of be able to switch 1 through 5.
What's been, from your perspective, the difference between last year and this year from the results?
If you say coaching, you might have to run less.
Well, yeah. So there's been coaching. Anyways, I just think I'm able to get to spots better. My rebounding's been better, like crashing the offensive glass, and then also just the pieces we have helping me like touch the ball where I need to touch it.
Man, we're catching up with RJ Smith, the center for Bellevue University's undefeated men's basketball team. Head coach Lucas Gabriel is with us tonight. I want to talk about your decision to come to Bellevue. Obviously, we just talked about it with Coach. You're not from Nebraska. You're not from around here. You're from California, where it's probably a little bit more warmer this time of year. What was your transition like from California to Nebraska, and why was Bellevue eventually the right spot for you to land in?
Well, I remember Coach Gabe's father actually came out to one of our playoff games that we lost. And just came and spoke with me after, and then got in good connection with Coach Gabe, and it just something felt right, like it would be the place to end up.
What about Christmas? What are your plans for the Christmas holiday? We were talking to Gabe off air a little bit about when everybody's going to get back and what the plan is. What about you? What's the plan?
Go home, spend time with family, stay in the gym, stay ready.
You good answer.
Yeah. Right? You were obviously here 2 years ago when that tournament run happens. You guys make it to the national tournament. Last year, we've already harped on that enough. What is it about this university that you can have that down year and there's still that belief in whether it be the system, whether it be the coaches, the pride of this university, the tradition it's had? Why is it that you guys could just plug in a few pieces? Gabe talked about it. The building blocks were here. You guys have been here. You guys have had success. What was it for you personally that made you believe we can turn this thing around and get it done the right way?
I mean, when you have those 13 one-possession losses, it just takes one possession, one like change, and I've changed myself, and then we've added an extreme amount of talent. So, it just seemed to be the right answer.
Sure.
What are you looking forward to most for the rest of the season?
Long trips to Montana?
Yeah, a couple of those, and just keep on winning.
Sure.
Right on.
RJ, thanks for being here, right? Coach, we'll go back over to you to wrap this thing up. And obviously, for anybody that hasn't had a chance to get down to the new BU Fieldhouse, it's a beautiful venue to take the game in it. Why should people come down and check out Bellevue University?
I mean, we have one of the best for small college basketball. We have probably the best facility in the country. And it's high level basketball. I have multiple guys that could be playing Division I under different circumstances, and so. Right now, if it ended today, there's 6 teams in our league that would make the national tournament for
incredible.
NAI March Madness. So, I mean, this is the ACC or Big 12 of NAI basketball. I mean, this is really good basketball, and but you get it at a fraction of the cost. So it's kind of a no-brainer to me.
Well, congratulations on the hot start, man. We love to see it.
I don't want you to take shots at or throw anybody in the bus or anything like that, but like, as far as when you go from the North Star Athletic Association to the Frontier Conference and what you just said, like obviously you're coming from a one bid league to a place where there's multiple opportunities to punch that ticket. Does that take a little bit of the stress off of you at all?
It does. We felt like we have had plenty of teams that were national tournament caliber teams and there's so much pressure going into the conference tournament when you're in a one bid league to perform that week, whereas now, we still obviously want to win our conference championship. We still want to win the conference tournament, of course, but it's not do or die. It doesn't feel like everything's hanging on that final, week of February and early March now. So yeah, it does take a little pressure off and if you have a great regular season that you're in and you are going to go dancing.
What about the travel logistics? I mean, how has that process changed with the new league?
Well, the main thing is
we only got an hour and a half, Coach.
Yeah, I'll just 5 of the teams that are in the new league were in the old league, so that's the same. It's really the trips to Montana. So we have 3 trips to Montana we do now, and you're flying instead of taking buses, and you're staying at different hotels and places you've never been. So it just changes it a little, but at the end of the night, it's still basketball, and it's a fun thing that we do.
That's Lucas Gabriel, head coach of the undefeated Bellevue Bruins, who are 12-0. Try to go 13-0 on Friday, right?
We'll try to go 13-0 on Friday.
Right. Check out the BU Bruins app. Keep up to date on all of that. Also, download the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. Thank you very much, Coach, for being here. If you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page at 1620thezone.com. It is a Taste Test Tuesday. You want free dinner and drinks on us? Head over to our Twitter page. Retweet the Taste Test Tuesday post from Timber you could be heading over to 78th and Pacific and eating dinner on us tonight. We'll be right back. Bud Crawford stepping away from the ring. What does it mean for the state of Nebraska? We debate. We come back. 1620 zone.
Hey, everybody. It's John here for Bob at Williams Law. At this time of year, the last thing you want to be thinking about is something that happens in the court after the new year. Well, let me tell you how you set your mind at ease. You give Bob Williams at Williams Law a call. He's going to sit you down for a free, no-obligation legal consultation. Going to get all your questions answered, set your mind at ease, and make sure the relationship is right for your big day. Bob is an excellent legal mind. He comes in with us, explains the very complicated topics in the world of sports law in terms that we can understand. He can do the same for you. If you got legal questions, you need Bob in your corner. Check out WilliamsLawLLC.com.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control.
Hey Jays fans, it's hoop season and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vest, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
It's cold weather season, and when it gets cold outside, pests want to come inside. From spiders to rodents, now is the time to prep your home for the winter months. An end-of-the-year pest control checkup can keep mice out of your walls, spiders out of your corners, and can even prevent the occasional squirrel or raccoon from trying to make themselves at home. Don't let unwanted guests, besides your in-laws, crash your holidays. Visit ReconPestServices.com today and stay protected all season long. When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
640 on a Taste Test Tuesday here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Download the BU Bruins app to your smartphone. Tonight, John Schreiner, Jimmy Allen, Dan Campion, and Noah Houston with you here tonight. We got some breaking news before we came on the air about Terrence Bud Crawford. He's officially hanging up the gloves. And for anybody that hasn't seen the video yet, Dan, this is on me. I meant to tell you to have this ready to go, but I told
where are you getting this video from? That's what I want to know right now.
Didn't I text us a group chat?
Because so it's not on Twitter. ESPN posted a graphic. All he has on his Twitter right now is
it's actually up on our Twitter. It's on the After Hours Twitter.
How many Twitter pages do you want me to go to?
That's at After Hours 1620, Dan, if you didn't know.
I didn't. We have a show Twitter page.
I personally got it from Julie Goldsticker, Bud's publicist. So Julie, thank you. Hopefully I was supposed to tweet that out. I'm hoping that was supposed to go viral. I'm assuming she said that to everybody on purpose.
He put it on his Instagram 13 minutes ago.
There you go. Well, hopefully I didn't tweet it out before I was supposed to. Julie, I'm sorry. I apologize if that was not supposed to be the case.
The leak is inside the building.
Did I just out myself? My bad. Anyway, for anybody that hasn't
call Paul Davis Restoration if you got a leak.
There you go. For anybody that hasn't seen the video yet or had the time to, it's a 5-minute long video, so it's a little bit of a lengthy watch. He talks about why this is the right time, and why he was a fighter, and why he wanted to accomplish the things he accomplished. Because there were so many doubters and haters out there, people that told him he couldn't, and just talked about the battles that he fought through. Gave a shout out to Wayne Sullivan, who's obviously a friend of the show and my cousin, but they're basically family. But he just talked about, like, not that there's nothing left to do, because there's always another fight, right? But who else could he prove wrong? He's done it all. He not only has he done it all, he's done things that people haven't done before him. In unifying 3 separate weight classes. And I saw somebody respond to a tweet about this from one of the Ring magazines. Well, this is what happens when you start taking belts away from people. This has nothing to do with the WBO taking away the green strap from him for the Canelo fight. I promise you that. But think about it from this standpoint. He's now in the Floyd Mayweather category with it. When you lose, you have everything to lose and nothing to gain. Like, he's probably got 9 figures to gain if he gets in another fight. But at what point do you put your legacy on the line? Listen, I'm going to be flat out honest with you. I don't think there's anybody in the world in the weight class that he would be fighting in that could touch him. And I think that was pretty evident after the Canelo fight. But I think this is the perfect. I know there's been the discussion about the last fight at Memorial Stadium, and there's so many logistics that would have to go into doing that to be the perfect send-off. Go beat up a tomato can inside Memorial Stadium and wave goodbye to the fans. Do you need that when you have the ride off into the sunset moment in Vegas, in the fight capital of the world, against arguably, if not even arguably, the most popular fighter on the planet and your biggest payday of your life? And oh, by the way, you outclassed him in every single way possible. Do you really need to go beat and dominate a guy for 12 rounds, even though you really just did that, against the best in the world? Like, there's nothing left to prove.
It's also interesting that it comes a couple of days after Canelo came out and said he wanted a rematch in September with Bud Crawford.
Sure. Yeah, which, did he, though? Like, he might have said he wanted that, but did you really want it?
Yeah.
You might have wanted the payday.
Yeah,
I don't know if you wanted the 12 rounds in the ring.
Cynical John says, name the last time an elite fighter announced his retirement and didn't fight again.
That's why I threw the Memorial Stadium thing out there.
Yeah.
For anybody that's sad that that's not happening, I don't know if I'm willing to write that one off all the
way. He might be retiring from chasing belts.
Yeah. There are no more.
There are no more belts.
He got them all.
Chase. I would be surprised if we've actually seen him fight for the final time.
I would too. And if it's not Memorial, I would be really surprised if there's not eventually a fight at the Chi. I would be really surprised if Bud Crawford doesn't fight in Nebraska one last time.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked about this with the Madrimov fight. Was Bud Crawford playing 4D chess by making that fight look more competitive to lure in Canelo? You can't convince me. Like, listen, this is no insider knowledge. You can't convince me otherwise at this point. Like, I'm pretty sure that was a strategic move. Hey, let's go about 70% here, and let's just make fights look more intriguing instead of just killing everybody.
And then Madrimov got dumped in his next fight. So,
which is the other reason. Like, sometimes 2 and 2 equals 4, guys. Speaking of math, who's really good at math? Tyrell Muller. He's our winner of Call Your Shot this week. He's in studio with us tonight. He also brought us some goodies. We're going to talk about all that and more. If you missed our segment on Terrence Crawford, missed his announcement of his retirement, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. It's cold outside. You don't need it to be cold inside. Have you peeked your head up into your attic right now? You see some frost in there? That's not a good sign. You know what that means? That means your HVAC unit is not working or maybe even breathing properly. You need to head over to controlledcomfort.com and set up a maintenance appointment on your furnace this winter. We'll be right back. We're catching up with Tyrell Muller. We're going to talk about the letdown of the Iowa game. We're going to get his thoughts on the Dylan Raiola situation. This is what happens when you listen to After Hours. You can come hang out in the studio. I'm Jimmy Allen. That's John Schreiner. We'll be right back. 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for Paul Davis Restoration. You just heard it from Jimmy. The leak is inside the building. And if that's the situation you're facing right now, call this number, 402-553-0373, because they can help you with mold mitigation, with water damage. If you got any flooding, if you got ice dams that build up and flood the basement, whatever it is, you got problems, Paul Davis is here to solve them. They'll be out quick. In case of an emergency, just give them a call, 402-553-0373. Smoke damage from an over-aggressive grill, they got you covered on that. Mold mitigation, they can take care of all of that stuff. Just give them a call. It's Paul Davis Restoration.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers, starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
Hey, Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Waiting for it.
I just realized we didn't give you any instructions on what to do next.
Nope.
You're screwed. Hey, welcome back inside the After Hours Lounge at 6:50 on a Taste Test Tuesday here at 1620 Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Download the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. Tyrell Muller is the winner of our Call Your Shot contest this year. He won his seats with his and your wife, not girlfriend, correct? Yes. You left the girlfriend home on that day. Good call. He and his lovely wife got to attend the game on Black Friday of great significance. I don't know if time has passed where we can call it what it was, but we'll just to play safe for the lawyers, we'll go that route. Your wife's name is
Samantha.
Shout out to Samantha. Hopefully she's listening. Did you guys enjoy your time down there in Lincoln?
We had a really good time. We had some friends who were tailgating, so it was a nice time before the game. It was a nice time up till halftime. Then the third quarter arrived, and well, my wife, her heated vest quit working. So
Too bad the weather wasn't like it was today. You guys would have been fine.
Oh, I know, but then I had to give her my battery. But then by the end of the third quarter, that had quit. So then
it was time.
And yeah, the game was going the way it was.
So for anybody that's joining us for the first time tonight, A, where the hell have you been? But B, what we did is we did a contest every week with 7 games picking against the spread. Was there a game that you picked this year? You obviously did better than any of the other patrons of the After Hours Lounge or the night shift. Was there a game this year that you felt like this is the lock of the year?
I feel like there was a Texas A&M game.
There was a few of them.
Yeah. And there was one where I was like, only 3 points or something. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like,
thanks, Vegas.
Yeah. And there was one I got a reverse cover that I think it was an SMU game.
Yeah.
There was a few.
Yeah.
So here's what Tyrell did that nobody else did in this contest.
Okay.
He played every week. He got his picks. He missed 1 week. Tyrell missed 1 week of the contest. I don't think there was anybody else in it. There was nobody else in it that missed fewer than 4. So his consistency, and look, he beat me by a lot. So he was also very good. And missing a week, he still outscored me by like 30 points.
So this is something you don't know. So we got those tickets donated to us. Thank you to Controlled Comfort. Week 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was actually going to be the original reward for we were going to let you come in and do a segment. So that's why I just initially we came up with this at like 3:00 today to actually have you come in. But this is why we actually asked you to come in, because you were going to win this anyway. So we thought we'd give you an opportunity to come in and give us some of your hot takes.
Oh, I appreciate
that.
Yeah. I think both are great prizes.
You had one significantly better than the other.
And we're perfectly fine with you saying the game. That's fine.
At this point, knowing how the game went, I would say this actually rivals it.
Joel Klatt obviously had some takes. We were talking about this off air and gave a brutal answer about kind of what he thinks the way the college football playoff should go. And you have some takes. So I'm going to let you break this down. What was your issue with his take? Probably the same as everybody else's. And how do you see it differently?
Obviously, him talking about, and maybe I misremember this, but, who cares about the Cinderellas, comparing it to the NCAA tournament. I love the Cinderellas.
Yeah.
Growing up, I played, all those NCAA football games. Instead of being Nebraska, I'd be the Buffaloes. I'd be the Temples. I love that the little guy.
Well, hold on. Pause right there, because there's a correct answer to this. Who was your go-to Group of 5 school when you're starting a dynasty?
Oh, it was Buffalo.
Okay, fine. All right, good. All right.
The Bulls, yeah. But it's nice to see them get recognized. That's why I won Bama out.
Sure.
But James Madison and Tulane.
Bama got in over Notre Dame, so I'm Mike Neville. I'm sorry, but I'm fine.
Well, I think the other thing about his comments where he said that the NCAA basketball tournament is a joke, and that is just absolutely
the second most watched sporting event of the year.
Factually incorrect. And like, who remembers when Kansas beat North Carolina in the Elite Eight? Like, nobody does. You remember when UMBC won?
You remember Florida Gulf Coast?
You remember Florida Gulf Coast?
St. Peter's.
You remember St. Peter's?
George Mason, all the way to the Final Four.
Who were the Elite Eight teams in
last year?
2017.
Who were the elite teams last
nobody
year?
Remembers that crap. What people like, the lasting memories are those teams that weren't ever supposed to win that go on a run. So it's just factually incorrect.
Right.
Like the take is not backed by anything.
And the reason I said last year is because obviously those were the 1s and the 2 seeds that all made the Elite Eight for the first time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the sentiment he's going off of, which I guess I'll kind of hear. It's just a really bad take.
No, I agree. Like, even if James Madison and Tulane get blown out,
both plus 7,500 right now,
then so be it. But it's for that one special moment where that small school gets a chance to beat the big school, the big dog. it's worth it.
I think this is probably a pretty obvious answer, but Tulane obviously has to go to Ole Miss. JMU has to go to Eugene and play Oregon. Of those two schools, who do you put your money on having the best chance to pull off the upset?
Tulane.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Ole Miss doesn't have a coach,
according to you.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the other thing. It's like, just like it was eventually going to happen that a 16 was going to be to 1, at some point, one of these group of 5 schools is going to pull the upset and win the first round game.
And
like,
listen, Ole Miss might be prime for that because of the letdown of Lane Kiffin.
It could be this year. So, I mean, UCF beat Auburn in the Sugar Bowl. So it's certainly
and they
could
had
happen.
A head coach.
They had a head coach who was leaving, but
you obviously have takes on Nebraska football. Dylan Raiola allegedly out. He has not officially announced that, but it allegedly is out. Where would you like to see Nebraska go quarterback wise?
So yeah, talking with other people, obviously all Husker fans, I look at Brendan Sorsby type. Like, I don't think it's going to be Sorsby.
Texas Tech.
Yeah. But I believe that type, strong arm, maybe not the most accurate, but fleet of foot, but also just a proven winner, or at least has a moxie to him.
Do you have any eligibility left? Could it be you?
I'm not old enough.
Hey man, we appreciate always listening and checking in. We appreciate you. Congratulations on the on kicking John's ass this year.
You did.
And enjoying the Iowa game with your wife. Thanks for being here tonight, man.
Oh, thank you guys.
We'll be right back on the other side of the break. Dan Campen has written buy or sell tonight, so
we haven't seen
all bets are off when we come back. If you missed our catch up with our Call Your Shot winner Tyrell Muller tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Recon Pest Control. Listen, I've been telling you for a while. You know what happened to me this summer? I have a special needs dog. He can't see. We had wasps all around our yard. We couldn't let him out there. I had to do what's best for my dog. I called 2 separate pest control companies. They could not get rid of my wasp. I called Recon Pest Control one time. Haven't seen a wasp since then. Head over to head over to ReconPestServices.com tonight and have your home protected from critters this winter. Head over to ReconPestServices.com right now. Tell them After Hours sent you. We buy or sell the other side of the break. 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. Listen, last Thanksgiving, I was stuck in a situation. I needed a plumber. I had water backing up out of my main drain into my laundry room, and I didn't know what to do. I called AXP Service. They were literally there within the hour on Thanksgiving, got our line water jetted all the way up to the street. We haven't had a water backup since then. If you're dealing with a big-time plumbing problem, even if it's on a holiday, AXPServices.com is here to help. Nick and his team are always around. They're always on call, and they're ready for you to break glass in case of emergency. Head over to AXPService.com tonight and get all of your big-time plumbing problems fixed.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
From the chant of Husker power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Rail Cars Happy Hour is here. Stop by 144th and Blondo Monday through Saturday from 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 2 to close, and enjoy $2 to $5 off appetizers, $1 off draft and bottles of beer, and delicious ciders. All signature cocktails are $10. Classic cocktails are $8. And every glass of wine is $2 off. Plus, Rail Cars' incredible brunch menu is on display 9:30 to 2 Saturday and Sunday. Rail Car Modern American Kitchen, 144th and Blondo.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
Top of the second hour here on 1620 The Zone. Jimmy Allen, John Schreiner, Dan Campen, and Noah Houston with you tonight. Brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You don't become #1 in Omaha for over 15 years by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They can do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com. Tonight, Dan Campen has wrote buy or sell tonight. So discretion is advised. Parents, put the kids to bed because who knows where this is going to go when Dan's in charge. Dan?
It's always family friendly.
Have we said good evening to you? Good evening, Dan.
It's good to be here. Whoa. I'm going to get down in I call it
He's in power stance.
The Connor Happer stance.
That is the good call. That is the Connor Happer stance.
Another weekend. Another
I got a hug from Connor Happer the other day. Just gave him a point at the Creighton game. Came up, gave me the bro hug. I was like, okay, Hap. Go ahead, sorry.
Another weekend. Another notch in the belt for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Not only did the women's team notch another win to remain unbeaten, the men's team knocked off number 13 ranked Illini in a dramatic last-minute fashion. Buy or sell, Amy Williams and Fred Hoiberg have found the right magic in Lincoln.
Well, it's a couple things. I mean, it's getting Rink Mass back, getting Britt Pitts committed to Lincoln. Like, there's a couple things going on.
Sanford's been pretty important.
Yeah. Did Nebraska get the most important Iowa Hawkeye? That's a debate. It's not a debate by this point, by the way. Yeah, listen, both those teams have it absolutely rolling. Nebraska's on the trajectory to be a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament at worst right now. For the men's side of things, you're probably looking at a 2 or 1 seed if the women can keep things rolling. Oof. Yeah, I don't even think it's debatable at this point.
I saw a graphic today that broke down tournament resumes by various different metrics. Currently, Nebraska men's basketball has the 5th best tournament resume in the country.
Yeah, it's not even that they're winning; they're beating teams that they shouldn't
or didn't think they would. Yeah, for sure. I'm just really happy for both coaches because
me too. That's a good take.
I think that there was a period of time a couple of years ago when there was a loud clamor for Fred Hoiberg's job to be removed.
Yeah, whenever they would win an important game, I would just tweet out fire Fred Hoiberg because those people are wrong.
I don't know who would ever want to fire Fred Hoiberg. He definitely doesn't produce a radio show from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here randomly and said fire Fred Hoiberg all last season.
Bad take, Dan.
Very bad take, Dan. But I'm glad to be wrong.
Yeah, and Amy Williams, who had been really successful at her previous stop, looks like she's finally got the gears all turning in the same direction, which is like, it's super cool to see. And for a school like Nebraska that is like, hey, we're football and volleyball, to have both basketball teams rolling like this is pretty cool.
Dan?
Unfortunately, all is not well in Huskerland. The volleyball team that, for the record, won 34 straight and had only dropped 8 sets. Yes, 8 sets all season, is knocked out of the tournament by Texas A&M. Buy or sell, we will see another run just like this next year.
I'm selling it because what they had this season was something that is incredibly rare. I think there had only been ever 6. I think that's right. 6 undefeated national champions.
Correct.
In the history of women's college volleyball. So I don't know that you can count on that kind of a run again next year. Now they have a lot of very good pieces coming back. Rebecca Alec is not one of those. She's gone. Very important piece to that team. I don't think you can count on undefeated regular season like ever. You can't count on that.
Listen, that's why I was going to sell as well. And you knew one of these days for Nebraska was going to come from the volleyball program. It just sucks it was the national tournament.
Yeah.
Like you had everything stack up and go wrong, gets you with one of your best players getting sick, or one of the best players in the country getting sick. You had 2 of your important pieces
Player of the year
get injured.
finalist.
Yeah. There's just a lot of things that went wrong. It's not as simple as they rolled the ball out and Nebraska wasn't good enough to beat Texas A&M. There was a hurricane of things that went wrong.
Well, and watching that game, there was hope all the way through it. And that's,
by the way, they had a shot at it.
That's probably the worst part, is when that 4th set, the way that they battled back and forth that whole time and took it way past what it takes for a general set of volleyball. Was it the 3rd?
That was the
That
3rd.
went like 37-35.
Yeah, it was the 3rd.
Okay. I couldn't remember. At that point, I had like screamed my
blacked
lungs
out.
out. And I was like, no, please let it
You
stop.
went into Kent Pavelka mode.
Yeah. It's I, however, would argue that they probably can do something not dissimilar to this next year. Andy Jackson in the middle is still going to be
She's still really good.
real problem. Becca Alec is great. Andy Jackson is just as good. So I'm gonna keep my hopium, and I don't know if my DBK aid, it doesn't really work as great as
No, it
Kool-Aid,
doesn't.
but I'm still all in on Husker volleyball.
What else you got, Dan?
The thing that we've been avoiding now, apparently, for about 2.5 weeks, Friday and Saturday marks the start of the college football playoff. Buy or sell the opening weekend season upset, which we kind of already touched on with Tyrell. But
James Madison at Oregon, Alabama at Oklahoma, Tulane at Ole Miss, Miami at Texas A&M are your matchups for the possible upsets, and obviously the Ats being the home team for the first round. I think Alabama beats Oklahoma. I don't know if that's going to necessarily be an upset, but I think it happens.
Yeah, I don't have that one. Let me go to my prediction sheet. I have Oregon, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, A&M. No, I don't think there's an upset.
Sweep for the home teams?
Yep, sweep for the home teams.
I thought maybe that there would actually be a chance. I didn't disagree with the fact that Tulane could beat Ole Miss.
But I think from a stylistic matchup standpoint, I think the stylistic matchup standpoint helps them too, not necessarily just the late game.
They got hammered in that regular season game.
So I think Ole Miss is going to win by a lot, though.
Yeah. Now that the lane train has left the station, I'm kind of pulling back the reins a little bit. And I should say I'm probably detaching the bit from that horse and actually reattaching it to Trinidad Chambliss. Chambliss for Heisman next year.
There you go. Okay.
I'm going full on.
What else we got, Dan?
So there's a lot of high profile injuries this past weekend.
Oh, were there?
None will loom larger than that of Patrick Mahomes. the magician of GEHA Field, has torn his ACL, and the Chiefs will officially miss the playoffs. Buy or sell, it's retooling time in KC.
I have been blown away by the amount of people that have grabbed the shovel and just buried Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. People are calling for Andy Reid's job. I was talking to somebody yesterday that was like, dude, Mahomes is done. I'm like, yeah, for the year. He's still probably the best football player on the planet. They're gonna be fine. Retooling, I mean, sure, you kind of have to retool every year. So I guess I buy from that standpoint.
Yeah.
But I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be just fine.
Well, have you seen what their salary cap number is? They are in salary cap hell.
Yeah, and listen, it's because of that the Mahomes contract.
They
with that being said, you also have the ability to restructure that because it seems like Patrick Mahomes doesn't want to go anywhere.
It's going to be hard for them to massively retool. I don't think that with the situation they're in, that it's really possible for them to make a major overhaul. I think they're stuck in this for a while. And I saw a member of the Kansas City media after that game tweet out,
it was more than one.
This is the perfect opportunity for Andy Reid to step aside, go into a front office role, and turn the reins over to someone else. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Are we watching the same sport?
Yeah, tell me you're spoiled brat without telling me you're spoiled brat.
What is this discussion even about? And then finally, I just want to say I'm really sick of Patrick Mahomes trying to copy everything that Dylan Raiola does. A lower leg injury late in the season with only 3 games to play. Come on.
We got to get to what we got right, what we got wrong, what we didn't see coming. I'm going to call it the Heisman version because that's kind of where I went with this one. But on the whole year of college football as a whole, we come back. If you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. Is brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Did you adjust your humidity on your furnace when you turned it on this year? Did you know you have to do that? If you didn't, you're in a whole lot of trouble. Also, that furnace filter probably needs to be replaced more than you think it does. Head over to ControlledComfort.com, set up a maintenance appointment with Tony and the team, and get your HVAC problem solved tonight. Right, wrong, didn't see coming with Noah Houston. We come back, 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Allo Fiber. I've been rocking with Allo for over a year now. They put a Wi-Fi extender on the back of my house. I can be 2 blocks away and still be connected to my Wi-Fi, legitimately. We haven't had a problem with our TVs buffering while we're streaming, and the all-new Allo Mobile is reliable nationwide. Head over to allofiber.com/Husker Radio. Sign up for the official services for internet, TV, and mobile of the Huskers.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Boys Town Ear, Nose, and Throat Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7.
Partly cloudy, cooling off tonight. Later on, a low temperature in the upper 20s. Partly sunny, quite breezy and mild on Wednesday. A high in the low to mid 50s. We'll see a chance of rain showers later Wednesday evening and night. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
For the 3rd year in a row, Hy-Vee and Chesterman Coca-Cola present Zooliteful, a holiday celebration at Henry Dorley Zoo. Now through December 28th, stop by any Omaha area Hy-Vee through the holiday season and grab Coke 12-packs for just $4.99 when you buy 4. Also, Dasani 24-pack water is $3.99. Get down to Henry Dorley Zoo and celebrate the holidays with Hy-Vee and Chesterman Coca-Cola.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
If you're looking for an authentic Italian experience, look no further than Pasta Amore. For 4 decades, Pasta Amore has been keeping the spark alive for couples in the Omaha area with their homemade pasta, made fresh every day. Our hand-picked selection of exceptional wines will put the nightcap on your evening that you expect. Open every day at 4. Stop by Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village and enjoy dining in the romantic dining room or relax on our shaded patio.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission, and time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, time to get out of the house. Enjoy Nebraska's many state parklands on those nice days when we get them. Grounds are open for all kinds of outdoor recreation. You just need to bring your own water, have a current state park permit, and bring along some money for those camping fees if you want to camp out. I always say, park it in a park. By the way, you can get lots of information on the Nebraska State Parks online through the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. Question: are you venturing outdoors this time of year? Ooh, if so, file a plan with somebody that you know and trust, telling them at least where you're going, when you're due back, assemble a survival kit, carry a first aid kit, tote your smartphone to record a voicemail location, and pack an extra set of warm clothing in a trash bag or a dry bag just in case. Please be safe out there. I'm Greg Wagner.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Hey Jays fans, it's hoop season and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vest, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
It's cold weather season, and when it gets cold outside, pests want to come inside. From spiders to rodents, now is the time to prep your home for the winter months. An end-of-the-year pest control checkup can keep mice out of your walls, spiders out of your corners, and can even prevent the occasional squirrel or raccoon from trying to make themselves at home. Don't let unwanted guests, besides your in-laws, crash your holidays. Visit ReconPestServices.com today and stay protected all season long.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough. But if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
$7:20 on a Taste Test Tuesday here at 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. 15 years of being #1 in roofing. Congratulations to Pyramid Roof. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They can do it all. As we've done all season long, we gave you what we got right, what we got wrong, what we didn't see coming every week in college football. But it's time for us to recap the entire season. And I'm going to go ahead and start us off. What I got right, I told you Diego Pavia was going to end up in New York, and he ended up there. Thought he was absolutely deserving of the Heisman Trophy ballot. He's also deserving of not playing college football again after this year. Diego Pavia, please give it up. But secondly, it's going to be an interesting game when he and Vandy get a shot.
Yeah, he's also deserving of all the criticism for the way he acted afterwards.
Yes, I agree.
What did I get right? Emmett F. Johnson.
Yes, you did.
I told you last year he was the best back on the team. I told you this year he's the best player on the team. I don't think we need to litigate this any further. I was clearly right. That's it. That's all I got.
Congratulations. Noah, do you have a hot take in college football this year that you were absolutely right about? Why is your camera so dark?
I don't know. I have the light on and everything.
Oh, okay.
So I was
Maybe it's my Santa hat.
right about Alabama making it to college football playoff.
Okay. That was something I could have been wrong about. I thought Alabama was going to be the number 1 overall seed. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
Maybe if I switch to the right camera, I don't know.
That might help. Dan, do you have something you got right about that you could turn the microphone on real quickly and run over there for? Just grab that one. Yeah, that works.
So, mic number 2 is unplugged.
Oh, yes,
and
it is,
and it's on the desk. So
I can see it dangling.
Love it.
Did it finally die? For anybody that doesn't know, that
great.
microphone has been in rough shape for only about 7 years. So
yeah, my right was Ole Miss. I told you guys all season the lane train was plowing forward. Now it plowed too far forward and made it one state over from Mississippi. But still, technically, I am right because they made it to the college football playoff.
Yeah.
All right, I was wrong. Jeremiah Smith did not win the Heisman Trophy. But you know what? He's coming back to Ohio State next year because he's only a sophomore. You know what that means? Guess who Jimmy Allen's favorite to win the Heisman Trophy next year is?
He wasn't wrong. He was just early.
That's right.
Yeah.
If he ends up winning the Heisman Trophy, am I still technically
I think it's pretty easy. Nebraska. I was wrong. This is not the team I expected to see. Second-year quarterback, retooled offensive line, veteran defensive backfield. I mean, I just thought they'd find ways to get it done.
Sure.
Instead, they lost their final 3 games, limped out of the regular season, literally and figuratively. And it was disappointing and honestly sad. Like, you just felt sad at the end of the season because you felt like they had that level of talent that they should have won more games than they did.
I want to correct you. They haven't lost their third game yet. They lost their last 2. UCLA was their third to last.
Well, I'm just putting the Utah game in there.
Fair enough.
And like in hindsight now, picking them to go 9-3 sounds really stupid.
I was right there with you, so I can agree with you. Dan, did you write the X on your prediction, by the way? Or was that somebody else? Somebody
no.
else. Somebody crossed off your 10-2. I don't know why they singled you out specifically.
I got singled out specifically because I was the first one.
Yeah,
I was the first one to
Josh
be actually,
Peterson crossed it out
wrong.
when they lost their third game.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it was live on Big Red Overreaction. I'm pretty sure too. So
okay,
that's fun.
Noah, is there something you got wrong this college football season? We're gonna wait to talk crap about your Chiefs while you're not here. But is there anything about college football you got wrong?
Unfortunately, Iowa State was not as good as I thought they'd be.
That's like you said about like 9 of the Big 12 seasons about people having takes about Big 12 teams in this room because we're basically all wrong. Dan, what'd you get wrong this year, other than the majority of your takes?
I was going to say, do you want the Big 10 one or the SEC one?
Yes. Which one?
Well, number one, obviously, as we all saw prior to
we can hear you.
Prior to the season starting, I thought Penn State was going to be the number 1 seed in the college football playoff and just run the table in the Big 10. That didn't happen. And then I put a little bit of weight behind Brian Kelly.
Oh,
I thought he was actually going to be a decent head coach this year. I thought he couldn't flub it up for another season, but yeah, turns out he's really good at flubbing it up.
What I did not see coming, I did not see 2 Group of 5 teams making into the college football playoff this year. I didn't think I ever thought it was out of the realm of possibilities, and maybe we should have, kind of how last year went, and the fact that it didn't really look like anybody was primed to run the ACC table. But I just did not see that coming anytime soon.
Yeah. My didn't see coming is Oklahoma.
Yeah.
What a difference a year
We were
makes,
both very,
man.
very off the Brent Venables train.
They were not good last year.
No.
And I figured Brent Venables was probably on the chopping block this year.
And you can throw what I got wrong in there for John Mateer, because I didn't think he was going to be able to translate.
Yeah.
And obviously when he was healthy, he clearly did.
I didn't know if Venables was going to last the entire season.
Yeah.
And all they did is make it to the CFP, right? The 8th seed. Could not have seen that coming with a telescope, man.
No, you obviously Haven't given us a ton of takes on the college football landscape. Was there anything that surprised you about the college football year this year?
James Madison.
Yeah.
They had an incredible year, and they deserve to be in the playoffs.
Kurt who?
Hey.
Dan, what did you not see coming about college football?
So just the Virginia season in general.
That's a good take.
I think, well, I guess think and know can kind of be the same thing. I know that if they can keep it together and not lose a lot to the transfer portal, I think that squad that they have is going to be the same, if not better, next year. And they might actually have a chance to come out of the ACC.
Now, listen, they were one game away from doing it this year. We got to get to John Walker from the Omaha World Herald, get his thoughts on what's going right, wrong, and maybe things he didn't see coming about Creighton's basketball season this year. If you missed our right, wrong, didn't see coming segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. You got the ideal gift for dad yet? Holiday season is here, and if you haven't stopped by 78th and Dodge and found all of the holiday apparel at Jerry Ryan, from Johnny O, Cutter and Buck, Business Maine, Peter Millar, they've got it all. Check out those Roan pants while you're there as well. All the best names and all the best brands at 78th and Dodge. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Get the guy in your life the ideal Christmas present this year. We'll be right back. John Walker from the Omaha World Herald, 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for Timber Wood Fire Bistro. You know, we do this on Tuesdays where we get to try the great food from those great restaurants, and tonight it was Timber's turn to provide us with some delicious food. The lamb duo, the ricotta gnocchi with chicken, and the red bird wings. My goodness, everything was delicious. Now, I'll tell you this, I'm not the biggest fan of lamb. I'll eat it. It's not my favorite thing. The lamb duo at Timber is one of the best lamb dishes I've ever had in my life. It is fantastic. And if you are a fan, you should get in there and try it immediately. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, John, I already know about Timber. I go there. I know about it. You've been telling us about it forever. Okay, but listen, there might be someone you know who doesn't know about Timber. You know what's a great Christmas present idea for that person? A gift card to Timber. Get in there and buy a gift card for someone you love for Christmas. Send them to Timber. And get in the drawing for our $25 gift card tonight by retweeting the GIF that we put out on social media. You can get yourself some free Timber. Timber Wood Fire Grill.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers, starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience. From their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen, to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and 2 to close on Sunday. Timber Wood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Hey, Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
In school sports, it's easy to see the wins, the moments that make headlines. But there's so much work that goes unseen for any of it to happen. My name is Phil Risen, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Throughout the country, athletic administrators dedicate countless hours to making life-changing opportunities possible for student athletes through sports. Their sacrifice is fueled by the belief that every student can grow and deserves their time to shine. On behalf of the NIAAA, we want to thank every athletic administrator for your tireless dedication to providing 7.8 million students across the country a path to a better future.
This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
7:32 here on a Taste Test Tuesday, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Over a decade of being number one in Omaha. It doesn't happen by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. Speaking of doing it all, from covering Creighton basketball to Nebraska football, a little bit of high school action, and everything in between. John Walker from the Omaha World Herald now joins us here on After Hours. John, it's been a few weeks. How are you?
Man, I'm good. It's been chaotic. It's been busy. And a little bit of everything in between, but it's been good nonetheless. What's up, guys?
Fantastic, man. Like, obviously we're gearing up for the holiday season as well, while taking in all of the sports intake. Obviously, the news before we came on the air tonight, Terrence Crawford is retiring from boxing. What was your immediate reaction when you heard the news tonight?
Yeah, crazy. I was fortunate enough to kind of be on the Bud Crawford beat.
Yeah.
Leading up to the Canelo fight and for a little bit after. I covered the Canelo fight from back in Omaha, of course, not in Vegas, but it was cool nonetheless to really kind of have that beat throughout that process at that point in his career. And so I didn't know going in, but I knew after and during the process that there was a chance that he retired. You know, that was a lot of the post-fight buzz in the press conference. Was it his last? Is that how he wanted to go out? And we know a few months later that now the answer is yes. That's exactly how Terrence Crawford wanted to go out, on top with an undefeated record and in a few historic undisputed championships. So yeah, it was always a possibility, it seemed, but it's always crazy when one of the best fighters, if not the best boxer of the generation, retires.
Disappointed at all that he didn't get one more fight back in the hometown?
Yeah, see, and that's what I thought. I thought if he was going to have one more, it was either going to be in Omaha, or the thing that everybody had wanted forever, of course, was for him to do something in Memorial Stadium. So one of those two would have been really cool. But I guess we'll never know.
Let's flip the page to your other beat that you cover. Obviously, Creighton not having the schedule or the season they thought they were going to, off to a 500 start out of the gate through the first 10. What's been the most disappointing thing about this team for you?
Yeah, probably the depth being unplayable. And I don't know if unplayable is the right word, but I wrote in the World Herald today for tomorrow that like Greg McDermott went to the lineup. He minimized his rotation in the second half of the Kansas State game to the guys that have, one, been in this program, and two, he can trust. And obviously those are mutually exclusive. All season, Mac has said, like, he is looking for guys who will, as he'd say, hook it up, meaning that they will be consistent in their approach and they will be consistent with their play. And in a system like Creighton's, that really just means guys executing the scouting report, because the coaching staff is smart enough, is so smart that they're going to scout the match. Like, they're going to scout wins more often than not. You know what I mean? And it's up to the execution. And that's not always the case, but it certainly is at Creighton, especially with Alan Huss and Greg McDermott on the bench, on the same bench again. And so they go to that lineup in the second half of Kansas State. The six-man rotation was Ty Davis, Josh Dick, Austin Swartz, Isaac Trout, Jason Green, Fedor Zugic. Those six were it in the second half of the Kansas State game. I think Nick Graves might have played 3 minutes, and Owen Freeman played eight maybe, but like, that's it. And it's because those guys hook it up every time they're on the floor. Like, Ty Davis is going to be the guy who dives on loose balls, and you can count on that. He's going to listen to what Mac and what Huss and what the staff want him to do. He'll execute the scouting report. Part of that is his demeanor, sure. But part of that is because he's been around the program. And so those guys have now stepped up into these roles. But the problem is, guys, here's what I mean by the depth being somewhat unplayable. We're now at the point in the season, 6 weeks in, where Greg McDermott is like having to leave talent on the bench because they're not, based on what he said or implied, they're not doing what they're asked when they're on the court. What they're doing in practice is not carrying over to game setting. He's alluded to that multiple times. And the problem is that what was supposed to be Mac's deepest team in his 16 years at Creighton has now had the bench shortened, one, because of injuries to Jackson McAndrew for the rest of the season, Hudson Greer for the foreseeable future, and throw Josh Townley-Thomas in there too. But also the bench is shorter because the talent, the guys who made up a consensus top 15 transfer class, or some of the guys anyway, are kind of not living up to the expectations that it seems Creighton staff had of them when they got them out of the portal. And so we're kind of here at this point where Greg McDermott seemingly found answers that he had been looking for in the second half of the Kansas State game. And, I kind of said that day that it was a message sent to those guys, and specifically Blake Harper, Owen Freeman, and Nick Graves, guys who were plucked out of the starting lineup. So, well, did they receive the message? I'm sure. How do they respond from that? How does Creighton respond from that tomorrow at Xavier to open Big East play? We'll certainly find out in now less than 24 hours, guys.
John, we talked about this before the start of the season about, despite everything they lost, the respect that was still shown to Creighton based on where they were picked in the preseason poll. And then I think we kind of started to doubt that a little bit. And then the rest of the Big East is looking a little bit down as well. I mean, where do you see the outlook now for this team when it comes to Big East play?
Yeah, it's nuts because, again, the metrically, this team was not a preseason top 25 team. Look at it. And I know that they're predictive metrics. I understand that when games haven't happened. So, we can't put too much stock. But look at Bart Torvik, look at Ken Palm, look at Evan Mia. Like, metrically, Creighton was at 38th to 42nd in a lot of those. And again, like you said, John, because of the respect that Creighton has built for itself over the past decade plus, they were viewed as a top 25 team. solely based on their prior merit, which is fine. It's a preseason poll, of course. But yeah, now we've kind of got here to where they're not a top 25 team, and there is like 1.5 top 25 teams in the Big East, depending on what St. John's we get on any given day. So the opportunities are not abundant, and they weren't a year ago, but Creighton had somewhat capitalized on its non-conference opportunities. Obviously, Vegas was tumultuous last year. But they obviously lost at Alabama, but they beat Kansas, a number 1 Kansas at the time. And they don't have that caliber of win on their schedule. They squandered those opportunities in Vegas, at Gonzaga. And I'm not faulting them for losing to Gonzaga or Iowa State. Just the fact of the matter is they lost the games. And that affects your resume in November as much as it does Selection Sunday. So my long meandering point being, they don't have many opportunities like that in the Big East because of where the league is metrically right now. Seton Hall's a nice boost. That's fine. But your regulars like Marquette, currently right now, like Creighton, Providence was expected to be pretty good in the preseason. They haven't met those expectations thus far. So teams like that are performing worse than expected than they regularly do in Creighton and Marquette's case, and it's bringing the strength of the metric strength of the league down. So it's imperative, guys, that Creighton compiles a lot of wins in the Big East, and more so than ever avoids like a really bad loss and has to get a couple of quality wins. Like I think you have to go 2-2 against St. John's and UConn this year because of the strength of the rest of the league and how crucial those games are going to be compared through the rest of the league.
We're catching up with John Walker from the Omaha World Herald here on After Hours. John, I want to go back to something you just mentioned a minute ago. We talked about the cutting of the depth and limiting the roster to who it's going to be. Didn't he kind of feel like, specifically against K-State, that Mac was kind of handing the keys to the kingdom a little bit to Josh Dix and Austin Swartz and kind of anointing them the guys with the way that game played out?
Yeah, well, I wrote briefly after the Hudson Greer, in the very brief window between Hudson Greer's red shirt getting lifted and Jackson McAndrews' season-ending injury. I wrote like this big thing, this big analytical deep dive that was like, okay, Hudson Greer, like his red shirt's lifted, so whose minutes is he taking? Right. And in that analytical deep dive, I found that Josh Dix as the point guard in lineups was like really, really successful. And Mac likes that because Josh has a pretty solid assist to turnover ratio. He takes care of the ball. And so, no, I'm not shocked to see him be handed the reins, really. Austin Swartz is a really nice development. And I'm not saying a developmental piece. I'm saying just storyline, a development, because along with Isaac Trout, along with Ty Davis, like Austin was on the scout team 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And then he has a team high 16 points in the loss at Nebraska. A lot of those were in the second half. They're empty calories. I understand. But then he went and played really well against, or pretty well against Kansas State too. And so, yeah, I'm not shocked. Austin seems to be one of those guys who has done what McDermott has asked guys to do. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been a part of that group that, one, started the game, and two, finished the game in the second half. And the really interesting thing, I was telling somebody about this on Saturday, guys. I think if there is anyone, and I mean anyone, on this roster who could help galvanize everyone, who understands what it's like to go through a slippery stretch, it's Austin Swartz. He went through such a tumultuous freshman season at Miami. they finish like 7-20 or finished 7-20, whatever. Had the midseason coaching change when Jim Larinaga stepped down, and they really just fell apart. Like, they were showing up every night to play pickup ball, essentially. Put something on tape, get to the portal, go where you're going. This is a sinking ship. And so I'm not saying Creighton is a sinking ship, far from it. But if there's anybody who has experience in these kind of situations that as a player can help galvanize everyone, can help rally the troops, I like to think that's Austin Swartz from what he went through last year at Miami.
John, I wanted to ask you about Blake Harper and what you think the struggle is for him right now, because I think we've seen flashes of him being able to fill it up, being able to get to the rim and score, but it's been kind of inconsistent. And I wonder what your take on Blake Harper is.
Yeah, I think that when the matchups have been advantageous, he does a really, really good job of seizing those. Like, he knew against Oregon that he had to get downhill. Like, he knew that. And he went at the same person the entire time. And he's done that a couple of times this year. But then when teams have trapped him, like, the ball just gets stuck far too often. And that's been a problem with Creighton as a whole this year. But that's been a problem with Blake Harper as well, is that the ball gets stuck. They feed it into him. He has a nice matchup on the post, and then he dribble, and then you're crashed in on, and then you don't know where to kick because you're unfamiliar with the offense because it's your first year in an intricate system and it's only 6 weeks in. And that's really where the underlying issue is, guys. With Blake Harper, sure, but with a lot of those guys as well is, to this day, Greg McDermott is saying if you're still thinking, then you can't play. You can't just play. You're too busy thinking to just play basketball. And Creighton had such a high volume of that this year by bringing in 9 newcomers that we've really seen the effects of how much roster overturn can affect the program, and the problems that can come with that. But yes, Blake Harper, a really, really, really solid basketball player, a really good basketball player, but he's got to find his footing in Creighton's offense. It would help him see the floor more. It would help Creighton win some more games. And it's just got to happen for Blake to get where he wants to go and for the Jays to get where they want to go.
That's John Walker from the Omaha World Herald. You can catch all of his work at By John Walker on Twitter or subscribe to Omaha.com or buy a newspaper today. John, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.
If you missed John's segment tonight, we'll catch up on all things either Terrence Crawford's retirement or Creighton basketball. Check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Paul Davis Restoration. Listen, we're not all perfect. If you accidentally left your hoses connected to your faucet outside, you're going to have some big-time problems with not only just your house, but also the exterior. You can also damage the foundation. Any of that happens, you need to save this number, 402-553-0373. Give Paul Davis a call tonight. We'll be right back. Closing arguments, courtesy of Bob Williams. We come back, 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Recon Pest Control. Listen, it's cold outside. A little bit of field mice coming out for the warm weather today. Some snakes may have resurfaced. Maybe you're starting to see some raccoons nesting around your house. You need the best pest control you can handle. And you can get that over at ReconPestServices.com tonight. Let Recon Pest Control come out and rid the critters, not only from your yard, but from your memory. That's right. You're not going to see them for a while once Recon Pest Control shows up. Head over to ReconPestServices.com. Protect your home tonight.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
It's cold weather season, and when it gets cold outside, pests want to come inside. From spiders to rodents, now is the time to prep your home for the winter months. An end-of-the-year pest control checkup can keep mice out of your walls, spiders out of your corners, and can even prevent the occasional squirrel or raccoon from trying to make themselves at home. Don't let unwanted guests, besides your in-laws, crash your holidays. Visit ReconPestServices.com today and stay protected all season long. When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less. My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
It is closing time here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Over a decade of being #1 in Omaha doesn't happen by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, roof, your gutters, your siding. They can do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. It is time for our closing arguments to wrap up the show. What we'll do here is all 3 of us / 4 of us will give you a hot take to wrap up the show. We'll post a poll on Twitter. You'll vote for whoever had the best take. Whoever receives the fewest amount of takes will have the worst closing argument of the night. John Schreiner.
Should we say that our audience is the jury and
the executioner?
Whoever gets the fewest amount of votes is guilty of having a bad take.
Okay, we can go with that. So start us off, counselor.
Okay. So the ACC and the SEC have decided that they're going to require their conference members in football to play 10 power conference games a season.
You down with the ACC? Yeah, you know me.
9 in-conference games plus 1 non-conference game against the school from a power conference. Now, this looks good if you're in the ACC, because you had ridiculous tiebreaker scenarios that happened this year that allowed Duke to be in the conference championship game
and win it
while Miami was sitting at home with their fingers crossed. This looks good. This looks like a good idea. From the SEC's perspective, it feels like the Big Ten just stole their lunch money and backed them into this corner and made them feel inferior in some way by winning 2 straight national championships, despite playing a 9-game conference schedule. But now they've one-upped the Big Ten and said, not only are we going to play a 9-game schedule, we're also going to play at least one power conference in our non-cons. And this, to me, on both counts, ACC, SEC, is incredibly stupid in these times. Because
you just got to win.
We have seen what the committee says. Win your games. Win 11 games, win 12 games, you're in.
Right.
The SEC has just shot itself in the foot because it started to feel like little brother.
I don't hate that take. We got a lot into the Dylan Raiola of it all earlier. We left out one really key component. You got a quarterback in Lincoln right now. He's starting your bowl game for you. And I think we saw what TJ Lateef could be against UCLA. I think we saw what the downside of a freshman quarterback in his first year could look like. But do we often forget the jump that Dylan made from year 1 to year 2? Because I wonder what TJ Lateef in another year in the same system, if Dana Holgorsen stays in Lincoln, would do for him and do for this program. Because when we talked about philosophies earlier in mobile quarterbacks and what it seemed like it meant to Matt Rule in his first year, kind of feels like it's tailor-made for what TJ Lateef could do. So I think that TJ Lateef is QB1 next year. Now, what does that mean for the transfer portal? Because you got to go get somebody. You need another body.
Another body.
It'll be really interesting to see. Because listen, even if somebody comes in, this is going to be kind of a hard pitch. Like, you can come in and compete for this job. If TJ Lateef stays on campus, you're competing against the guy that started the last 5 games of the season. It's going to be interesting to see how that folds out. Noah?
So I got an NBA take. So,
okay.
Saturday night, NBA Cup Conference Finals. San Antonio Spurs played the OKC Thunder, and OKC was on a 16-game winning streak.
Is that good?
Really good. Haven't seen it in like years. But San Antonio, Victor Wembanyama just came back from injury and had a hell of a game for them against the Thunder. It was a big reason why they were able to beat OKC and end that big-time winning streak. And because of that, if it were to be playoff time and it were to be the conference finals, I believe San Antonio would knock out the defending champs.
Wow.
Okay. That's a bold statement.
That is a hot take. Dan Camden?
Grab the mic, Dano.
There's nothing more attractive that you can do. This is for the ladies.
Then wear a Santa hat?
Well, yeah, of course. But that's, that's only if you have a nice red beard to go along with it.
Yep.
Ladies, there's nothing more attractive you can do than say, hey, your team is playing my team on Saturday. How about we make some game day food and have a little bit of fun? Get the rivalry stoked up and actually enjoy a football game.
That it? Like that?
Yeah.
All right.
I love my wife.
That's our closing argument tonight.
Wife guy Dan.
If you missed any of the show tonight, check it out on our radio replay page at 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Bob Williams with Williams Law. If your son or daughter has found themselves in a little bit of legal trouble now that the holiday season upon us and they're out of school for a couple weeks, you need legal representation that you don't know where to find it, there's no better place to stop than WilliamsLawLLC.com. Bob and his team are going to sit you and your loved ones down, explain your rights, and get you and your son or daughter ready for their big day in court. Check out WilliamsLawLLC.com. Get a free, no obligation legal consultation tonight. For Noah Houston, Dan Campen, and that's John Schreiner. I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy National Covered Everything Day, everybody.
But not ketchup.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top